on, everybody? Welcome back to another Heroes of Might and Magic 5 Duel Mode series video. Today we have Helmar here towards the very end of round 3. So be sure to go check out all of the other previous rounds and fights so you're caught up, so there are no spoilers here for everybody's wins and losses thus far. So he's going to be facing the first hero from everybody, right? So he faced all the second because he's a second hero, then faced all the third. So facing the first, which is the hardest section for the most part. Boom. And that's what makes Helmar very strong in this series right there, is the double mass casting of endurance and deflect missile. Definitely a tough team, but Irina is the best hero in the series thus far, based on wins and losses, so we will see how this fight plays out. But I appreciate all of the likes and subs from this series, and the watch time too, of course, so please keep that up for me, everybody. Hit that like and sub button and watch the entire video and go back and watch the rest of all of these the series thus far. But this is all I do. I just sit here, commentate what we see. You guys could be here live on Twitch, so I'll go down in the description and follow me on Twitch so you can be here live. We obviously play plenty of other games as well, and we will be playing the brand new Heroes of Might and Magic game Olden Era when it comes out. Definitely excited for that. It's supposed to be coming out in Q2 of this year, 2025, so hopefully super soon, and it is not pushed back, but we can only hope. I'm definitely excited to play it whenever it actually does come out. We do have some Olden Era videos already out on the channel, so go and check those out. It's the faction reveals that they've done thus far, sorry. I'm super excited. I think, damn, 20? That's fucking crazy. Especially considering that's Irina's hero, the griffin, or creature. That's crazy. 20 griffins dead from that cast. It's a lot. But yeah, I'm super excited for everybody that we have seen thus far. We don't have the full faction reveal of Temple, which is Haven, but we've seen every single creature aside from their tier 7, and they look pretty decent. They look pretty typical, you know, all humans and then a griffin, and I think the griffin is actually a tier 3 in Olden Era. So definitely a lot weaker than we're used to. And then we got my Necropolis team, which I am super excited about. They look really good. Some typical choices with skeletons and some ghosts, but a whole lot of different units. They got grave robbers now. They got they actually gave them hellhounds, but they call them, what do they call them? Undead pet or friend or something like that. Undead fiend. I don't remember what the heck their terminology is, but yeah, it's interesting to see the hellhounds essentially on Necropolis now. Then they got grave robbers, like I said, and then they got leeches still, and then they have what we have seen in previous games, where it's the essentially Grim Raider Rider, if you will, the Death Knight Rider, whatever you want to call it. And then Vampires is tier 7, still with the lifesteal, so that's going to be super strong tier 7. Their stats might not be the greatest, but the fact that you can lifesteal as a tier 7 is going to keep them in the fight for a long, long time. But Irina pretty much destroyed Helmar here, which I thought it was going to be a little bit closer because Helmar is definitely a um, decent hero in this series thus far. I think he's technically the best fortress hero thus far. Let me check his wins and losses in comparison to everybody else. But I believe I am correct. Let me see. So Helmar 6-1 for round 1, 4-3 in round 2. Not as great. And obviously this is round 3. Then we'll have round 4 as well. But yeah, still decent. I mean, positive win-loss ratio is nothing bad for sure. Lots of damage there from Helmar on Marbus. And then we've seen Dungeon as well. Dungeon looks like they're going to be pretty decent. They brought back Troglodytes. They brought back... it's kind of a mix. It's called the Infiltrator, like we have seen, but it has the Blood Maidens or Harpies utility as far as going out and attacking and then returning with no retaliation. Okay, Meteor Shower right back. Nice play. So that will be interesting. Then they have a new ranged unit. Some sort of, I want to say it's Dancer is in the name, but they throw like a double-sided blade. Let's see, who else does Dungeon have? Minotaurs as well. And then they got Medusa at tier 5. And then Hydra's tier 6. And then Black Dragon tier 7. But a pretty solid looking team there. We have not seen all of Sylvan, but Sylvan is in there. We got, they call them fawns, but they're essentially hunters. So it's kind of like what we've seen. So in Olden Era and in Heroes 5 here for skeletons, it was you have the normal melee skeleton, and then the upgrade you choose either the archer or melee version of the skeleton. So skeleton archers or a melee version of them, which is the same in Olden Era. Starts melee, the upgrade you can do skeleton archers or a different melee skeleton. But for Sylvan's Fawn, it is he or she. It's an archer, and then the upgrade you can stay with the archer or turn it into a melee unit. So it will be interesting to see. And then tier 2 for Sylvan is Hoplet, which seems very much just like a utility unit and not very good for attack or defense. But it's literally a large bee, if you will. I mean, I don't really know a better way to describe it. And then the tier 3 is Ariad, which I don't know if anybody played. I think it was Heroes 6 or 7 with the kind of like water faction with the frog guy, one of the lower tier units. That is kind of what it looks like. It's very much like a frog-like creature, but tanky. And then we have some other reveals, but not guaranteed of where they're at. So Sylvan will have a phoenix. Sylvan will have some sort of tree that is a druid, it looks like. It definitely seems like a ranged unit, but it looks like a mix of druid and Trance. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. But I know we are missing one. So let's see, 3, and then the druid is 4. I think the Druid is actually a tier 5. I'm spacing on the tier 6, but then the tier 7 is supposed to be the Phoenix. But then we have Inferno, which is now Hive in Olden Era, so that's very much changed. It's no longer, it's still very demonic and lava and all of that mumbo jumbo, but it is very much literally all melee units except for one upgrade you can do on your tier 6. So aside from that, you're just melee, and the most melee heavy team I've ever seen in any Heroes game, which is pretty crazy to me. But they do have one unit, I believe it's their tier 1, that they call it remote attacking. So you have melee units, you have ranged units, and then you have remote attack. So it's remote attack is a space in between. So you have left space, middle space, and then right space. Left and right is enemy, space in between enemies, but that person can still attack them. So hopefully that makes sense. So there's, they have a space in between attack. So it's kind of like, if you would think of this lizard that we're seeing attack, that it can hit somebody in front of them who they're attacking, and then somebody behind that person or next to them, right? So take off the front person, so they're hitting the second person at range. That's what it's, they do have some people like that. So previous people that I've named, like Troglodyte or Grave Robbers, they have a ranged attack, but the range is literally 1 hex. So they're definitely a melee unit, but they can attack you from 1 extra hex of range. So hopefully I made sense of all of that to everybody. If not, obviously feel free to go and see some videos and everything on what I'm talking about. But they do have, damn, that was 62. Damn, those dryads are fucking gone. Jeez. They do have a unit like that. So it's they have gnats, I think, wasps and hornets, a mantis, a reaver, a worm, which is just a worm, but think of like dune worm essentially, or something like that. And then the hive queen, which is essentially a big ass spider that has like, think of centaur but spider, running around with many legs, but person, the top half. What's actually, come to think of it, it took me this long to realize that we've seen that with Necropolis. The I think it was Heroes 6 or 7 with the spider that Necropolis had as the high tier units. Not the spiders themselves, we've seen those, but the I think it was Spider Queen or some shit like that. That's what it was called in the game. It's the same concept with that. But with Hive, the Gnat, which I know is at least the tier 1, can remote hit, so can hit you from 1 extra tier of distance. Which I actually don't know if you can hit multiple tiers with a remote hit like that, but I know the other ones you can't. But everybody else is literally melee, except once you get to the Worm at tier 6, only one of its upgrades allows you to then range attack. But everybody else on Hive's team is all melee attack. So you have one remote guy, which is a tier 1, so not the biggest of deals. And then everybody else is melee, including the Worms at tier 6. But once you upgrade the Worms, then you have the option of choosing a ranged version of them, which is crazy. Definitely a super crazy melee heavy team. And they do still have gating. It's now no longer gating creatures. It is spawning larva, which then turns into a creature after enough turns. So we're gonna continuously hate Hive/Inferno until the end of time, because that shit's just stupid and annoying. And it's just up to the Trents, man. The Hunters and Druids gotta do some backline killing. There we go. Nice. Okay, didn't even kill one Trent. Close range. Fireball killed none. And then a lot of hits coming from the back line. Surprised it didn't kill 2 Thanes, especially since it got luck. Surprised those fireballs weren't going to the back line. That's where I would have put them, but I also understand that these Trents are not easy to kill. Trents are super strong. Damn, only one. I still would have gone after the lizard, because now these guys are just gonna piece everybody up in the back. Okay, oh shit. I don't know why Helmar wasn't doing that earlier. It's a little late now to take out the back line in one hit at a time. Shit's over. Alright, Helmer 1 and 2, but if you are here again, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys being here, all the watch time you guys have given me. It's definitely my best series on my channel, from likes and subs and watch time that any series has gotten me. It's definitely the best one with the best results, so I appreciate it. Definitely excited to finish up the series as well. It's definitely been a great time, not only on YouTube with this series, but also on Twitch. So again, follow me on Twitch and we can chat it up, because we still got the rest of round 3 that you're watching now, and then all of round 4 still to do. So definitely a lot that you guys can catch up on and also be a part of for the remainder of this series, or any other, you know. I definitely play a lot of different games. I've just been focused on finishing up this one since I started it. I've been trying to be as consistent as possible with it and finish it up before Olden Era comes out, so then we're not going back in time a little bit. But it will be nice to finish it up, and it will be nice to get on to a new series, new games. Definitely been playing a lot of other games in the background and on Twitch, but we have been trying to grind this out to get it done before the new game comes out. Damn, Helmer is fucking up Orson super well. Not much left for Orson to do, honestly. Because Bone Dragons are definitely a terrible tier 7. I mean, worse than Angels, worse than Devils, worse than Green Dragons, worse than Black Dragons, worse than these Lizards for sure, worse than Cyclops, and then Titans I don't know. I like that they have a tier 7 that is a ranged unit. I really do. I like that about them. I like that it's also in the game for variety. It's cool. But they're still not very good. They're not bad, but I would still probably take them over Bone Dragons. But if you were like, oh, if you want to argue about it and say that Bone Dragons are better than Titans, I'm not really going to argue. I can see it. Mostly just because of them being undead, which is always a very good thing that Necropolis creatures have. All that built natural resistance to a lot of different things is nice. But also, when it attacks, casting stuff on the units is cool. But yeah, not hitting multiple units like the other dragons do makes them worse. And it definitely does not have as much attack or defense as other tier 7s. So yeah, it's just kind of a pretty shit utility tier 7 in my opinion. I'm a Necropolis main. I mean, Necropolis is always going to be my baby. It's the first ever town I ever played with, so I'm always going to be loyal to Necropolis to a fault, and love them. But some of their units are definitely not that great, such as the Bone Dragon. Zombies, I think, are a little bit underrated. Yes, they're a pretty bad tier 2, and they don't do much, but if you think of what zombies are there to do, they're there to be the fucking meat shield and take damage, and they do their job well. I'm surprised I did not kill 3 ghosts. That's crazy. But yeah, man, zombies, they just do their job. They are the meat shield of that team. Like, they're not gonna do a whole lot of damage. Their defense is okay for a tier 2. Obviously, again, undead is nice and helpful no matter what. But they're literally just going to sit there and soak up damage for the rest of your team, which is good, That, to me, it's almost as much as if a unit would go and attack ghosts and miss. That's kind of how I view attacking zombies, especially early into the fight, because they can be helpful. Like, if they go, undetected, they can definitely do some okay damage, especially if you go the plague zombies, you just keep weakening them and weakening them and weakening them. They're definitely going to be retaliated on a lot, but at the same time, they do their job, man. That's where I gotta give them props. I've never been huge on leeches. I think I don't even know if they're overrated or not, but they're pretty fucking mid. They're nothing crazy. They're okay units, but yeah, I just think the ghosts with their misses, and you can miss up to 3 times in a row, is the strongest ability in the game, no question. Vampires are obviously very good, can stay in the fight, do a lot of damage, high movement, okay defense, and obviously, of course, not only the undead thing again, but the lifesteal is super nice to keep them in the fight. And then skeletons are okay tier 1, but the whites, again, I think are a little underrated, because those fuckers, man, if you drop them down, definitely there's a lot of people that have the strategy of, okay, like this unit there's only 1 white left. I don't need to necessarily go waste an attack on them, unless there's somebody that, can go ahead and go kill them, and I don't want to necessarily lose a lot of life. There's reasons why you would go attack one white with a certain unit, but for the most part, you want to go then attack other units to kill them, break their numbers down, and all that shit. So then, because you're not necessarily attacking the one white, that harm touch is so strong. Like being able to just walk up to a tier 7 because they can fly, they do have very good movement. Just being able to go walk up to a tier 7 and guaranteed kill with no retaliation is an awesome ability. Definitely a super strong one for sure. I've always been very high on whites because of that. They don't have the greatest attack or defense, but again, the fact that they undead, flying, has pretty damn good movement for tier 6, and okay attack and defense, but then can sit there and harm touch anybody in the game and guarantee one kill with no retaliation. Like, that's a strong ass ability, man. It's always been why I've loved them. They're weak, I don't want to go attack somebody to where I'm going to get retaliated on. I'm just going to go harm touch a tier 7, break down that number, which is nice to do. Especially in something like this dual mode series where, if that lizard only starts with 3, I could go just harm touch them in general and not even attack them if I wanted to and break them down. I mean, I would definitely, if it's a 1v1 at the very start of a fight, white versus lizard, I'm gonna just normally attack them. But, if my numbers are dwindled, then why the fuck not? No retaliation, guaranteed 1 kill. Strong ass ability to me. But yeah, all of that is my love and hate of Necropolis. I will always be a Necropolis guy just because that was the very first faction slash town I ever played, so I'm always going to be loyal to them. I've always enjoyed them anyway, whether they were my first or not. But aside from Necropolis, I definitely love Sylvan. I love a lot of their creatures. I love, what they stand for as far as protecting nature and everything like that. Especially in the new game on the trailer and the Sylvan trailer as well. Just, you can feel that, people fucking up the woods and they want to come and protect it. So I'm down for that. I'll always have Sylvan is easily second for my favorite factions. Necropolis and Sylvan is like, has their hand on, holding them behind and second for sure. Then after that, it honestly kind of depends. I would probably say Stronghold. I like a lot of their creatures. I'm not huge on the whole Blood Rage thing that they did in this game. Don't get me wrong, I like the idea. I think it's cool. It's definitely different. And damn, if you can get some high Blood Rage on some units, they're going to fuck you up. But, I like a lot of their units. I like the Centaurs. I like the Marauders or Warriors, whatever you want to call them. I think they're underrated. I think Shamans are incredibly underrated. I love the Chieftains. I like the Wyverns. Cyclops is okay. They're not my favorite, but they're still good for sure. Definitely like Stronghold. And then I don't know. I have always absolutely hated Inferno, and I always will. I think they're... And it sucks because I actually like a lot of their units. I like Cerberus, I like Pit Fiends, I like the Devil. I think the Succubus is cool. I don't have a problem with any other units actually. Imps are super nice utility for tier 1. I like leaping with the Horned Overseer. Yeah, Hell Chargers I don't have a problem with. I mean, good tier 5, solid. But man, I just fucking hate gating. It's just a shitty way to play. Oh, keep spawning units, and yeah, you can obviously just kill them by killing their units, but it's just, I don't know, it's an annoying way to play. That's also why I don't like Fortress, because they're just super, and it also doesn't make sense, because I'm a very defensive player, in any game. Like I'm, if you have an option, am I taking more attack or more defense? Like I always think of defense first. Um, but that is definitely what I hate about Fortress. Like, they're just so annoying with all their stupid fucking runes, and then they have extra defense when you attack them, and yeah, it's just, I don't like Fortress at all. But at the same time, some of their units are good. I definitely love Rune Priests, and those lizards are just fucking strong as shit. They're definitely not my favorite, but they're strong as shit. And Thanes are pretty cool. And Bear Riders are pretty cool, but aside from that, I don't like their team at all. Spearmen are the worst tier 2s in the game to me. Guardians are okay for a tier 1, but nothing crazy, and then the Berserkers are fucking trash. But then you go to Haven. So Haven's obviously like some of the other factions in all of Heroes series. Haven's always been there. They're always decent. You have to give them props. They're always a pretty solid town no matter what. But I will never be a Haven fan. And the biggest reason why is just because they're the humans. Like, I'm playing this, fantasy mythological game with lizards, gremlins, golems, centaurs, dead creatures, fucking, you know, Trents, all of these other beings. Why the fuck would I want to play as humans? Any part of that? Don't get me wrong, like, dwarves are definitely like humanoid for sure. And I like actual dwarves, but not Fortress itself. Even Sylvan, you got elves and stuff. Those are obviously very humanoid um, creatures for sure. But fuck, man, why am I playing a faction that's, you know, literally entirely humans for the most part? Like, I don't want to do that. That shit's boring. I'm trying to play, people that are undead. I'm trying to play cool shit, not fucking humans. You can play humans in any other game. So yeah, while I can definitely respect Haven because they are a solid town, I'm never gonna be a, Haven fan. It's just not the town for me. And then Dungeon. Dungeon is definitely always cool. Unfortunately, they are just usually bad. I really like Dungeon. I like pretty much all of their units except the fucking Shadow Witches. I don't really like the Stalkers or Assassins or whatever, because honestly I just hate that cheeky little thing you can do to, make them invisible and do all that shit. I don't like playing like that. That's how I view Inferno's gating too. It's just like, this is a shit pussy way to play. So aside from that, Dungeon itself, if you don't play him like a bitch, is unfortunately not that great, mostly because of the lowest creature growth in the game, and just the fact that you obviously have to work very hard to get their units to a normal creature's growth, based on other towns' creature growth in comparison. So yeah, having the lowest creature growth rate in the game is, I mean, somebody has to have it, obviously, but they are like very much under it. You know, it's not like, you know, a couple. You know, obviously, you know, you have people that are, you know, 1, 2, 3, and you know, there's a couple creature difference for sure, depending on the tier of unit and everything. But overall, like, dungeon is massively under them, under the, you know, 7th person as far as their creature growth. Like, they are the lowest by a lot, and it definitely shows and hurts. Which sucks because I actually really like them. I really like Blood Maidens, Blood Sisters, Blood Furies, whatever the fuck you want to call them. I like Minotaurs, even though they are not great. Minotaurs have always been a cool creature that I like throughout, you know, mythology and everything. I like the Grim Raiders, even though they aren't the greatest. Definitely love Hydras, and they're actually decent. And then I don't have a problem with Black Dragons, but I mean, to me, I've never, like, I get wanting dragons in games like this for sure. No problem with that at all. I even agree with it, but um, I've never been the biggest dragon fan. I don't think they're not super cool to me. That's just obviously my personal preference. I've never been like, oh my god, you know, they have a dragon, or, you know, if I'm thinking of anybody, any town's creatures, you know, dragons are definitely not who come to mind first, you know, no matter who it is. If I'm thinking of the Necropolis, I'm thinking of a bunch of other creatures that aren't bone dragons. If I'm thinking of dungeon, it's not a dragon that I think of first. You know, if I'm thinking of Sylvan, it's not the green dragon that I think of first, you know. And again, it's not that I don't like them. I love the fucking blue electric dragon that Sylvan has. It's super nice, super strong, super fun. Um, and even the green one is cool. And the black one for dungeon is nice. You know, very typical, like, black dragon with fire that can hit multiple people. And then the bone dragon obviously sucks for Necropolis, but it is a cool unit. But yeah, I've never been super high on dragons. You know, if there was like no dragons in this game, I wouldn't fucking care. Some people are definitely super into dragons though. Not that there's anything wrong with that. To me, they're just a little bit like overrated and played out. Sorry, my headset's beeping at me because it's low on battery. But Helmar's doing decent here, 3 and 2. I know I've been talking over a lot of this entire video, and not been keeping track very well. 3 and 2 though. It's looking like he's gonna be 4 and 2, which means he's gonna have at least a positive win-loss ratio in this round, no matter what. Which so far he has in every single one, 6 and 1 and 4 and 3. So positive win-loss ratio, period, which is better than his entire faction, other heroes. 3 and 3. Oh, I'm sorry, 3 and 4. Both rounds for Carly, round 1 and 2, 3 and 4 for Carly, and then 2 and 5, 4 and 3, and then 2 and 5 again for Ebba. So not the best for Ebba there. But another win for him, 4 and 2. So we'll see if he can go 5 and 2, which will be his. Oh, I'm sorry for Helmer. I can't speak. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Which, so yeah, 6 and 1, 4 and 3 for Helmer. So the best he can do is still positive and go 5 and 2, which I think he can because, unfortunately, with Garuna and Haggish, the fact that Cyclops has the club, not that this club Cyclops is bad, because it's definitely can be very strong. Holy shit, that just took out the entire, they're, yeah, Helmar's going 5-2. Holy shit, 2 units dead, and they've moved up a little bit. Yeah, this shit's getting wrapped up. But that club Cyclops just absolutely takes out its own units, which sucks. That's definitely the biggest reason why Garuna and Haggish have lost a lot of fights, was because that Cyclops that they have just clubs their own fucking team, and yeah, just shreds him pretty terribly. Jeez, 13 dead. This shit's fucking over. This shit barely started. This was like the fastest fight. Boom. Nice hit. I mean, don't get me wrong, those Cyclops are strong, and if you keep letting them hit multiple targets like that, they're gonna wipe you out, but yeah, just the fact that you have so little other units left already, that Cyclops is not gonna be able to handle that, the rest of the team. Nice stun. Centaurs killed none. Cyclops kills his shaman, takes out a lizard, but loses one. Resisted, loses another. No retaliation though. Got hit, no retaliation. Got hit. Spearman gonna hit them again. That's probably one now. Oh, okay. Both dead. And then there were centaurs that fucking fast. That's crazy. Fireball. Yeah, so Helmar goes 5-2, still a positive win-loss ratio, and the best fortress hero thus far in the series. So please do not forget to like and subscribe for the rest of round 3 here, as well as round 2 and 1, and round 4 once we get to that here soon, and then a nice wrap-up video in the end. So like and subscribe, check out the rest of the series or any other games that I stream or have put on YouTube as well. And we'll see you guys on the next one.